Environment and Health. White House official spurns COVID prevention. Everybody is going to catch this. Racial justice RNC gave prime time to vigilantes. The next day a gunman shot BLM protesters. Prisons and policing. Kenosha police chief blames murdered protesters for their own deaths. Prisons and policing as RNC speakers denounce protests. Police pepper spray activists protesting. RNC economy and labor. Trump touts stock market gains that benefit the wealthy as Americans suffer. Politics and elections. I am a farmer's daughter, and I don't buy Trump's promises to family farms. Former Department of Homeland Security (DHS) Chief of Staff Miles Taylor claimed in a podcast earlier this week that President Donald Trump told administration officials he wanted to maim and shoot migrants at the southern border. Taylor, who served as Chief of Staff to former DHS Kirstjen Nielsen before departing the agency with her in April 2019, made the remarks Monday on an episode of the new Abnormal podcast from the Daily Beast. Taylor said he could not get through a meeting without Trump doing 20 tangents, becoming irascible, turning red in the face, demanding a Diet Coke, spewing spit. The stories you care about, right at your fingertips. Get True That's Daily Edition delivered to your inbox. Literally out of goddamn nowhere, he'd be like, "You know who's just my favorite guy? The My Pillow guy. Do any of you have those pillows?" Taylor said, referencing his first in-person interaction with the president, at a meeting about the construction of a wall on the southern border with Mexico. Donald Trump hates it when people take notes, Taylor recalled, reasoning it had something to do with the content of those meetings. He says, "We got to do this and this, all of which are probably impossible, illegal, unethical," Taylor said, echoing allegations from a number of former senior staffers such as former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and former National Security Advisor John Bolton. As he was writing down Trump's ideas while the president spoke, Taylor said, "He looks over me and he goes, 'You fucking taking notes?' I've actually seen him do that so many times in meetings," Taylor said. "Why the hell are you taking notes?" When discussing border security, Taylor said, Trump would concoct sickening schemes to pierce the flesh of migrants at the southern border, maim and gas them. He wanted to maim them, and to gas them and shoot them, Taylor said. "And I'm not even being hyperbolic. On one occasion," he said, Trump asked for steel bollards so sharp that I want them to pierce human flesh if they climb it. "Why don't we just shoot them?" Taylor said the president asked, referencing migrants approaching the border in caravans in 2018. "This was a man with no humanity whatsoever," Taylor said. Around the time Taylor joined Google in a policy role in September 2019, the New York Times and the Washington Post published stories citing administration officials with details similar to his descriptions to the Daily Beast. The Washington Post reported that Trump wanted U.S. border forces armed with bayonets to block people from crossing from Mexico, and even suggested fortifying a border wall with a water-filled trench, or a moat, which could be stocked with snakes or alligators. The New York Times had first reported Trump's proposal for a moat filled with dangerous reptiles, which the president allegedly wanted the wall electrified with spikes on top that could piece human flesh. Trump also reportedly suggested that soldiers shoot migrants in the legs to slow them down. A lifelong Republican, Taylor has made a series of high-profile media appearances recently on the heels of an anti-Trump opinion piece, which gained traction after its August 17 publication in the Washington Post. Taylor has said that Trump claimed magical authorities beyond the law and has announced the formation of a group comprising Trump administration officials, including at least 2 current senior officials, dedicated to defeating Trump in November. "We'll have a broad group of Republicans focused on denying Trump a second term, and most importantly, planning for a post-Trump GOP in America," he told NBC News on Tuesday. Taylor, as DHS Chief of Staff, played a not insignificant role in implementing the child separation policy at the Mexican border. In one email sent to Nielsen ahead of the rollout, Taylor coined it the protecting children narrative. Taylor's hiring at Google was controversial at the time, and led to several employees' departure from the company. One of those employees, Lawrence Berland, published an opinion piece in BuzzFeed News on the heels of Taylor's August 17 op-ed. Like he did in his role at DHS, Taylor is again crafting a narrative, one in which he is another of Trump's victims, but he and others who played a part in the atrocities of the Trump administration cannot be absolved of their past simply by supporting Biden's bid for the presidency. Berlin wrote, "If they truly are asking for our forgiveness, they will first need to admit that what they did was wrong, and say those words that Trump himself surely never will. I'm sorry. We didn't reach our August fundraising goal. This is the 4th month in a row where we've fallen short. The best thing you can do to help is start a small monthly donation today. Most of our monthly donations are in the $5 to $10 range, but any amount helps. When you make a monthly donation, you help us strengthen True Out and plan for the future. Will you help us save the month with a small monthly donation today? Donate now." This piece was reprinted by True Out with permission or license. It may not be reproduced in any form without permission or license from the source. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.